Okay.
Ready? Okay. Where do I stand?
Stand kind of like in the middle, in that little space between the two groups. That's perfect. Good.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, yeah. All right. Do I just
talk to the.
Okay. This is live. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is our Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated 29th Annual Youth Symposium. And
that was a great practice.
okay.
I know I shouldn't. Actually, I'm recording everything too, so.
Okay.
See, this is the fun of live broadcasts. Oh, so we failed? Well, you didn't fail so much as I failed because I didn't press record before I told her to start. So,
Oh.
the camera guy today. You know,
Here's my breath again.
So I just want to give her a chance to practice. All right.
Okay.
And we're ready.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in live. This is Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated 29th Annual Youth Symposium. And this is our second annual Teen Summit podcast. My name is Sora Brandy Thibodeau, and this is
Sora Faith Smith.
And we are introducing some of the scholars in LA who have some intriguing things to talk about. We hope that you learn a lot from our scholars because their voices are amazing and they need to be heard.
Just stay tuned and listen to these wonderful scholars. Thank you.
You can sit it down. It's not going to explode. Don't worry. All right, ladies, you want to introduce yourself, and then I guess we'll just get right into the questions. Starting with you on the, I guess with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Kayla Thompson. I am president of the Roars Club.
Hi, my name is Lori Crockett, and I am vice president of the Roars Club. I guess this is everyone, I think.
Okay. I got two cameras going, one for the crowd reactions, and then one for you guys. So you guys just take it away.
You want to start?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay,
Wait,
so
no. Sorry, this one.
so the first question that we have for you guys is, what should students know about scholarships, student loans, and paying for college? You could just pass the mic.
Pass the mic to.
I think scholarships is okay. Hello, my name is Walter. So I think scholarships is something that's really required for every student. Like this is free money for college, basically, and this is just really important, like for us students. And if scholarships are just like, just these are opportunities for us. Can you say something?
What about student loans and paying for college?
Well, for student loans, I know people say to not like do student loans, but students loans can be also something that just us students can actually like give us some time to make money, you know? So loans just give us time,
Mhm.
but it is something that is there for us students. What else should I say?
You can pass it to Elias.
Hi, my name is Elias. And about scholarships, I just want to say that I think everyone should apply for them since they're starting ninth grade. I unfortunately started applying since 11th grade, which is not bad. It's good because it was better than 12th grade. But you need to apply for scholarships because it's like Walter said, free money for school. And especially if you come from like low income background families, you really need that money. And the reason why I say to start during ninth grade is because it gives you an opportunity to start from like the first year and try to get those scholarships for like 4 years, because to apply to a scholarship does not mean that you're going to automatically get it, but you're like applying for them. And if people see the merit in you, then they will give it to you. And the different types of scholarships, you could just apply for some without doing anything, and then others require you to do an essay or for you to do certain things. But overall, it's not a hard process, and if you need like help, you could ask your counselors, your teachers, or like a grown-up, because you're not alone and there's very many people who would like to help you. And with students loans, I personally, from experience and like from what other people told me, you try to avoid it, because typically they will loans come with interest, and interest is like more money that you have to pay because by the time you're borrowing that money. So for example, if you have like an interest of like 10% on $10 borrowed, that'd be like a dollar extra you have to pay. And imagine yourself getting that like more money, like 1,000 or thousands of dollars. Then by the end of it, you're not just gonna originally pay like that amount you got, but like 10 times that, or like 2 times that amount of money. So like if you can, try to avoid loans, and if you need help, you can ask your families. And don't forget, you can also apply for FAFSA or DACA if you're an immigrant. So there's very many opportunities for you to get money. And I think there was a third option that you said,
Paying for college.
for paying for college. Oh, like I was just saying, then to pay for college, I think you should just apply for like FAFSA, which is government. The government gives you money for if you're low incomes. And I recommend to like get good grades for that, because the higher your grades is, the more money you would get. So do good in school. Does anyone want to add anything else?
Okay, the next question is, what are smart money habits that students should start practicing now?
Hi, my name is Tamiley, and excuse me. This is something that I struggle with personally, saving your money. I know it's expensive nowadays and it's really hard. And if you don't have a job, it's extremely hard because you don't have like an income, but whatever money that you get, save your money because you're gonna need it. And that money's not gonna be it's gonna get harder to get money the older that you get, depending on the opportunities that are presented to you. And don't go shopping with your friends. Don't be buying everybody in your school a burger. Don't be buying yourself too many burgers. Save your money. Birthday money, Christmas money, Easter money, grandma's money, grandpa, anybody money. Save that money. Yeah.
I think me personally, a tip that I have is for me, I made a Capital One account, and I think there's something similar that exists like that where you can save up your money as well, like to add on to her comment. And you can save it up, and if you don't touch it in a year, you could get like, let's say you save up 500 and you don't touch it at all, you could get 100 back in a year. So it saves you like a lot of money, and you gain something from like not touching it.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Carla Linares. Something I just wanted to say was that we're really fortunate right now as high school students, or even like students that still live with their parents, where it's like you don't necessarily have to pay for rent or for the electricity bills or for like what you're gonna eat tonight or like other serious things like that. Like you don't have to worry about that until you actually go to college. So I do recommend that, like everybody said, save your money. You don't really have to go out to the mall because everybody else is going, or having to buy the new Labubu that's going everywhere, the thing everybody wants. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, in about 30 years, are you really gonna need that Labubu? I don't think so, guys. Or maybe like every once in a while you can buy something like something really nice for yourself, but you can't forget that the end goal is that you really need to save that money for something more serious in life.
I want to add that also a good way to save money is just think that if you don't need it, don't buy it. Because there's a difference between wants and needs, and I'm sure like everyone wants to like keep up with the latest trends and do this and do that. But I think like if you really don't need it, don't buy it. It also teaches like self-control, that shows that you have restraint when it comes to money, so you don't buy everything that you see that you want but you don't really need. Yeah, that's it. Next question.
Okay. How can students distinguish between needs and wants when it comes to spending money and budgeting? Anyone want to answer?
Okay, I didn't say my name before, but my name's Natalie. And I think personally, if you're having a doubt about wanting to buy something and you know in the back of your mind, you're like, do I really need this? Will I really touch it in a couple years? Then you definitely should just go with that gut feeling and not buy it.
Anyone else?
That's it? Everyone, no one wants to answer? Okay, we can move on.
The next question is about immigration reform. How do immigration policies impact students and their families?
So this is a personal question, in my opinion, but in my situation, coming from an immigrant family, this really makes us, like, let's say, scared in our own way. It really limits us in ways how we're like kind of scared to go outside. If like every time this can be a risk for us, like we want to stay as a family, right? We don't want us to be separated because of being us. We literally be here for an opportunity, being here in the U.S. And my parents risked everything for us to get an education. Me and my siblings, and well, this just it just limits us in a way.
I think with the new policies on immigration, like reforms, I think it's becoming a very tough issue right now, especially for like the Latino Hispanic community, because I personally, like Walter, has firsthand seen like the how afraid people are, especially my community are. I see my family members just telling like my little cousins to like always check the window before they're opening the door, and then I was like shocked that they said that because in my household, thankfully, like my grandparents, I live with my grandparents, and they already got their citizenship last year, so they're good. And it's only me who I was born here, so I'm good, and my brother who's getting his citizenship already, so he's good. But like from my cousins, my uncles, like they're afraid and stuff like that. So it's not only like the adults who worry, but also the kids. And I know also from like friends who like come to this school and stuff like that, who experience like outside, who just like uh patrol comes in and asks them about their status, and it's like kind of crazy because I think that like especially for children, it's like they should have the right to like live happy and like enjoy life and not really worry about that type of stuff. And I think with the reforms right now, it's getting a lot more like heavy and like unusual because it's I know they want to target like people and like they want to they call like immigrants like criminals because they're not here, and they think that everyone who comes from like another like different country automatically would like do acts ex criminals in here or like do bad things in this country. But many of the people who actually come here for a better life and to get money for to send to others in their home country, or to for their or to like grow a family and make their family like have a life they couldn't have. But unfortunately, it's like everyone at this point is being targeted. So like the Latino Hispanic community can't feel that safe no more.
Anyone else have anything else to say?
Okay. The next question is, what resources are available to undocumented or mixed status families navigating the education system? Um, what resources are available for undocumented or mixed status families navigating the education system?
Hi, my name is Elian. So, from my own experience, I grew up with immigrant parents. I was born here in LA, and I grew up over there in Mexico City, where when I came here, I knew no English, I knew nowhere to go, and something that helped me learn English and prosper with my reading and writing was a program called Kinder to College. The program is located in USC here in South Central, and there every Saturday from first grade all the way to fifth grade, I would go, and the program is free. So every day I would go in, read, write, anything you would do in a regular school. But because I had no way to understand it, I got extra help for that. I got extra resources. Anything that I needed, I asked. And that program mainly provided for students that came from low incomes. So, in case someone that's in my situation is in need of extra tutoring or stuff like that, there's always centers for education in need in major cities, many sanctuary cities, as there's always a need for education. There's always a want for it. So things here in LA are programs like that. Does anyone have anything to add?
Okay. The next question is, what roles do schools and educators play in supporting immigrant students and families under current immigration laws?
From what I saw my school has been doing, they actually teaches us our rights. We learn about our amendments. I learned about, yeah, like how I have my right, every right to be here. And well, um, I know everybody knows what they are worth. So that's basically what I can say.
The educators also try to help us in ways how we can protest as well as students, especially because of all the immigration reforms. Where it's like there was been a case here at the school where students even left their class to go and protest for their rights, but the educators also saw the necessity that although we are young and we want to for a voice, that we also have to remember that there are certain things that can happen to us when we're outside of school, and that's really important, especially for us because we're new in this in this environment.
I know that in my school, the principal like supports us, our community, and she's like, I'm not gonna let no officer come in if they don't have a warrant. So she says she would even get arrested, which like I'm proud or like say like I'm like I see that she cares about it. And our history teacher also like he really did a big impact because he showed us like for example like warrants because some like officers will want like give you fake ones. So like he showed us like what types of warrants they are and what they look like, so in case an officer comes to your house and wants to show you a fake one, that he has already shown us like what it is. And another thing they did was they gave us like this little pink sheet, a paper that basically told us our rights and to always have it with us in case we didn't know like what we could say or what they were. And there were like rights that everyone had, and like Walter said, it had also like some amendments like that were significant for that type of stuff.
Thank you. Anyone want to add on? Okay, we're going to go into our next topic, amplifying Black and Brown voices. How can students ensure their voices are heard in schools and communities?
Excuse me. By simply speaking up for yourself, if you feel like you need something or you have a question or you just want to speak up on a topic, sorry. Just talk. If you can't talk, have your friends around you to support you if you feel nervous or something. Just speak up. Someone will hear you, and if they don't, keep talking, because eventually they can't ignore you anymore, because you have needs that need to be met, just like everyone else.
Anyone else?
Yes. How can students ensure their voices are heard in school and communities?
So, like she said, every student has a voice. Like if you can speak up, use your voice for your advantage. Like you can even make it by posting online. If you want to just give words of motivation for yourself, you can. Like there's always a way online, in person, or if there's people around you, you always have a voice. Like you always have somewhere to look into to actually express what you're feeling.
The next question is, how can young people address and challenge stereotypes that often silence black and brown voices in the media? Pass it to Elio.
A way we can combat negative stereotypes about brown and black people are by showing them wrong. For example, in my case, I've worked in places where I'm constantly questioned on my citizenship, where I would have employers ask me, do you have a green card? Were you born here? And I would say, I'm a US citizen. I was legally born here. I work as hard as I can. I try to prove them that even though there's a stereotype on how immigrants are smoochers, they leech off companies, they're thieves, they're criminals, they're murderers, things like that. I try to use myself as an example of what someone who's hardworking and tries to better themselves and get away from dangerous communities is like. I can try to voice my opinion on how negative stereotypes affect me and be a prime example of what someone who lives in a dangerous community such as South Central can become of them. I can go pursue my education. In my case, I'm trying to become a nurse. I can go out of my community and help more impoverished communities, even outside of the US, and show that even though I come from an immigrant family and live in a poor community full of violence and drugs, that I can be someone who can help those different communities outside of the US or even within the US. Does someone else want to follow up?
I think to like break the stereotypes and stuff like that, I think you should prove the people who believe in that wrong. And by doing so, I think one thing you should do is like get an education, because getting educated gives you the knowledge to like know more about things, not only like regarding like how society and politics work, but also like the type of person you want to become, because you get to realize things that you never knew before, um, and you want to change yourself because of that. But another thing I also want to say is like, don't try fitting into like a bad crew or group of people, because they are typically like bad influence. And though it might seem like cool or like what the new thing, it doesn't mean that it's right. So you should try to avoid that and try to like be your own person, get away from that type of things, and like try to become someone who you think people will be proud of. So like I said, don't go back, don't do like bad stuff, and don't join like groups that entertain that idea or that think that it's like a good idea, because it's not. And I think that if you avoid that, then people could see you in a better light.
What role do educators play in amplifying the voices of Black and Brown communities in and out of the classroom? Okay. What do educators play in amplifying the voices of Black and Brown communities in and out of the classroom?
What role?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was like, doesn't it next one?
I know in my school they do a big part for Black History Month. They would give out assemblies or give my peers um, something to say or to show uh, the school. Like I know there was many representations. There was HBCU marching bands. Like there was really much representations, even with the teachers and the dean. Like they would talk about their own experiences for us to listen to. Like we are like reminded of this every single minute, and well, that's all I can say.
Well, I know that some teachers actually try to give us our voice. Like I know, like as a student or like as a teen, we're not really listened to, or like they think that what we say doesn't really matter because we don't know what's going on. But I think like some teachers and staff, like they create committees, or like they post like in slides during like advisory, if you have advisory or enrichment, that like you could come to like this room. Like for us, we could come to a room and talk about the issue, and if it's like a big issue within our school, then we could like um petition or make a comment to like the principal. And if it's something in our community, then I know that our teachers support this, and they try like in a safe way, try to like all those who like are on the topic to like come together and to like deal with it like in a good safe environment. So that's like, for example, I'll say Miss T, she's our English teacher, 11th English teacher. She's always right there helping us when we want to like, we have a like issue going on, we could go up to her and talk about it, and like she makes a meeting with students who actually care about that, and then we can bring it like up to like a meeting we have with the principal, which is like it's significant because it not only improves our school, but we can make a change in our community too.
The next topic we're talking about is youth leadership. The question is, what does being a leader mean to you, and how can students develop leadership skills?
So students can develop leadership by joining groups. I know here in the school we have a variety of groups, clubs. We have places such as GSA. We have an NHS. We have a SHS. The basic principle of all these groups are a group of people, diverse groups of people who come together to voice out their opinions or try to do something with that group of people. So within those groups, there's obviously always a group of people, or at least someone who tries to step up and lead those groups. I know here in this place right here, we have Elias, who is our senior president. He has really stepped up. He really looks out for all current seniors here at the school. So people like that, people who are always looking for the best interest, not only within themselves, but their community. Someone who's always trying to speak out for positive ways to change the environment around us, to get good things from us. I know a lot of teachers encourage that through examples. We have leaders everywhere inside the community. Even our principal serves as a prime example. So many kids, many youth take that as an example and take it upon themselves to show that representation within the student body. So I guess ways to show leadership is to step up and try to be the person that you would want within your community.
Hi, my name is Amanda, and to add on to what he said, in my school, there's a lot of groups that that they provide for you to be involved and learn like basic leadership skills. For my personal experience, I've been in ASB, and ASB honestly like really taught me how to be like very responsible, planning things on your own. Like it's a really good skill to learn and have for the future, and it benefits you a lot. And also like just being involved in general, like I would personally say like do it because it's a really good skill to have. And putting yourself out there, like don't be scared, like try new things, join as many clubs as you can because it does look good also like when you apply to colleges and stuff. um, so like advice would be to like get into those groups, involve yourself a lot, and like be involved, and don't be scared to like step up or speak up, because you might not like know it in the moment, but you could be impacting someone like who's scared or doesn't have like the like I guess you could say like they don't want to do it or they're scared, and you could be like that person to do it for yourself and for everyone around you.
The question was, what does being a leader mean to you, and how can students develop leadership skills?
Like Elian said, I'm like a leader in my school. I'm class president. So what it means to be a leader is to show an example to others, which means like being on time, being respectful, show that you're a good student academically, but also as a person, meaning you're kind to them, you're calm, that you know how to handle some situations. And I think to become a leader, I think you should just take initiative. And what I mean is like what Amanda was saying, like don't be afraid to like do something or join the club. And for example, I was afraid to join, become the president or to apply for it. And there were some friends who motivated me, and I applied for it, and then it was me versus someone else, and I got the position. And through the leadership, I was able to learn like how to manage my time better, how to organize, how to like be more specific on certain things, on certain tasks, so that like the people who I sometimes tell like what to do or do certain things, like they know what they're doing. But I also learned to like be like more tough on them, so like they could respect me and then I could respect them. But at the same time, be like good and tell them like that they're going to be doing good, like motivating them at the same time. So like I mentioned, like to do it, you have to take initiatives and join a club, and that's how you're gonna learn. Because if you're afraid and don't do anything, then you're just gonna keep at it and never do nothing at all. So try something out first, and if you like it, or you might end up liking it, then you're gonna keep going for it and improve like that.
I think personally too, to add on to what they said, like to not fear to not fear the judgment of others, because you're going to stand out. And a lot of the times in college applications or in applications for a program, you'll see that they ask you questions of like an example of when you've been a leader or when you've shown the initiative, so you won't struggle answering those questions anymore.
Something I recently learned was that to be a good leader, you also have to be a good follower, where it's like you obviously have leaders that teach you how to do things. Like there's teachers that teach you how to do or help you differentiate from right and wrong. And you can also learn from others' mistakes, where it's like you pick up what they lacked and you can incorporate it to your self-growth. and you will soon to realize that you are a leader because you've learned how to follow others, or not necessarily follow others, not bad examples obviously, but you follow the good examples and you just make it better, and you just slowly start realizing that you can do anything you want to do and that you are a leader.
Okay, last question. How can students balance academics, extracurricular activities, and leadership roles effectively?
I think to balance everything out, what you should do first is like put your academics first, because that's actually the most important thing. That's what I basically do. I have school from the morning to like 3:30, 3:37, but that's the first thing you should know. Like Monday to Friday, like know your schedule so that you could like know what to input and like what you can do and what you can't do. One thing I would say is don't overwhelm yourself with many things, because it becomes a lot, and like your mental health becomes decreases, and you just will not be motivated to do anything at all. So start off by doing something little, and if you think you could do more, then do more. And what I always do is that I like taking like after school, I like having like an hour or two for like homework or like studying. So you should do that, like take times for that time. And in between you could also do like fun activities or like whatever you want to do, like video games or be on your phone, like so that you don't really stay too much in academic wise. And also like have time for like clubs and activities. Some clubs are sometimes during school and some are after school, so know how to manage your time. And if you don't, then you could ask like someone to help you out with that. I know I've asked my counselors before and or teachers too, and they've been very helpful, like by telling me like where I could put my certain like clubs or what I could do in certain times based on what I have, and that's been helpful to me.
To add on to what he said, it's really all about like managing your time wisely, and obviously like always put your education first. So always remember that your top priority is school, and especially like as a high school student, we could get distracted, or social media takes up a lot of our time. But I think if you struggle with that, like maybe like I would advise you to maybe get like a planner or something and like plan your days out, or give yourself like breaks here and there, but um always like remember that like school is important, and also like extracurriculars as well. Like obviously don't overwhelm yourself with them, but really like try to get into like as many as you can. And like I said, like manage your time wisely, like from whatever time your school is like starts and ends, and then after that you kind of figure out how how long you're going to stay after. Or like from personal experience, like um I have school from like 8:30 to like 3:37, and then some days I'll give myself a break and I'll go home and like do homework and things like that. And sometimes I'll stay for office hours. So like I give myself like breaks some days, and then some days like you have to put in that effort. And then obviously like join extracurriculars, because they do look good when you're applying to colleges. And like she said previously, they always ask you questions like, what do you do outside of school? Like, how do you, like, what do you do when you're not in school? And how do you manage your time with it? And they also ask you questions like about yourself. It's more personal questions. So make sure that you keep yourself busy, and also um, like also take care of your mental health. But um, it's just a balance, honestly.
All right, did you have any, is that the last question, or?
Yeah.
Do you want to wrap up the live stream with anything, or? I'm fully ready for you this time. So.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to our 29th Annual Youth Symposium, second annual Teen Summit podcast. I want to thank all of these amazing students for tuning into the conversation and letting their voices be amplified. Remember, all of our students have a voice. Please make sure you are listening to them.